I'm 33 years old now, and at about 18 years old, I realized that I wanted to be an entrepreneur. I wanted to be my own boss, and I wanted to have my own company. And of course, I had a regular job, and it wasn't until probably about 22, 23 years old that I decided to open my first company, which was a personal training company. And over the course of a few years, that personal training company was growing a little bit, and I tried other ventures and stuff, but the personal training was the one that really stuck. And so I read a lot of books about entrepreneurship and what you have to do to amass a lot of money. So the mass consensus was that you have to work a lot. Everybody like Gary Vee back then was huge, and he was just saying, you got to go 500%, way more than you think. Grant Cardone with his 10X and all of that, right? So I thought that you just had to work like crazy. And so that was my work-life balance. It was a total mess. And the thing is, during those times when I was working a lot, it wasn't even that productive. I really didn't get that much done. If I'm being completely honest with myself, like, I probably could have done everything faster, okay? And I'm sure that a lot of you feel that way as well, where you're just like moving your mouse around, doing random shit, and you could like block apps on your computer, which of course I was doing at the time as well for like productivity hacks. But at the end of the day, it's just not that productive. So something really changed for me. So what ended up happening was about 2 or 3 years ago, we decided to move to Bosnia. So right now we're in Bosnia. Keep in mind that I'm a gym owner, okay? I own a gym. It's in Vancouver. So this is a huge switch. The reason why we wanted to do this though was because our finances were getting really fucked. My wife doesn't work. It's just me providing. And although my gym is doing really well, you know, I want to invest as much as possible into the gym. I don't want to pull that out for myself. So yes, I was making pretty decent money, but Vancouver was so expensive on one income. So it just dawned on me, let's move to Bosnia. I'm Croatian. My family owns a house here in Bosnia. Why don't we just try that? And we did. So now two years later, I'm 33 years old, and we lived in Bosnia, which completely changed my perspective on everything. It's like the craziest perspective change ever. Because at first, I wasn't working a lot in the mornings. Obviously, like, you know, we were just moving to a new country. It took a few months to like figure out our grocery stores, our schedules, and all of that stuff. So obviously I wasn't working as much. Obviously I was still very busy with my family and stuff, but I wasn't working as much. And then finally got into the groove thing, had my office built out and everything. And then I started working in the morning. And the thing is, when I was working in the morning, Vancouver was asleep. So anywhere between like 7 a.m. to 12 p.m., Vancouver was asleep, and I was able to just completely focus on my work. My work as an entrepreneur is very creative problem solving. That's what I do. And because I moved so far away from Vancouver, I was able to take a bird's eye view, 1,000-foot overview of the business, and I was able to look at the numbers objectively and figure out what was wrong. And because of that, my 2-3 hours in the morning are so much more productive than my 12 hours in the whole entire day were in Vancouver. And I can tell you right now, my business is growing exponentially now because I'm removed from it. So that's the crazy thing. I pull back, I don't invest that many hours, and I do even better. And the timing of all this sparked me to create a video, because there's this whole thing happening with Mike Israetel and like science-based training, right? I'm a personal trainer, training all my life. I realized that the same thing was in Mike Mentzer's programs. Less is more. Spend all of your time doing the one set, go maximal all the way to failure, past failure if you can, and then from there, take a long rest and then do it again. That is more productive for hypertrophy than it is to just do volume training where you're doing, you know, an hour and a half in the gym 4 or 5 times per week, right? It's so funny, the timing of everything. It's so funny. Like, It's your life is more productive if you just do it in spurts. And you don't have to work as much. Now, because of this, right, I've reduced my training frequency in the gym. I've reduced how much I work, and everything is growing faster now. I'm getting bigger muscles, the most I've ever have in the last 10 years of training. I'm getting, I'm working better. I'm making more money because as a result of being more productive in my few hours that I have. And because of that, now I have even more hours in the day to be with my family, to cook food with my family, which I actually enjoy. I really enjoy cooking food and being with my family during breakfast, lunch, and dinner. I have more time to do other creative endeavors, like, for example, these videos. It just, now I'm able to do so much more because I'm doing less. So I want to introduce this new concept called Lazymaxxing. That's right, Lazymaxxing. As an entrepreneur, stop working so much because it's not productive to your time. Work fewer hours, and because you're constrained in that time, you spend a lot more effort in trying to get everything done that you need to get done. So what I do in my schedule now is I just have my 3, 4, sometimes up to 5 things that I have to do in my business and in my life in the morning, and I get that done as fast as humanly possible. And guess what? I do get it done. Every single time I get it done even like faster than what I expected. Why? Because I put that time constraint on myself, and then I'm able to get everything done. Sometimes I'll set up 3 things to do that I thought were gonna take 3 hours, and then I ended up doing them in an hour and a half. Why? Because I had that time constraint, and I just wanted to get it done as fast as humanly possible. And every single time I move a few things forward in my business, I end up growing my business even faster. Implement the concept of Lazymaxxing. Try to find the minimum effective dose. So with Mike Mentzer, the way that he was figuring it out was, there's no way that to get bigger, I need to add more volume. I can't just keep working out the entire day. There's no way. And the reality is, when you do something like that, there's diminishing return. So if I have good gains for an hour a day, if I bump it up to 3, does that mean I'll get bigger? No, it's actually the opposite way. If you can't gain with 1 hour a day, then go down to 3 days per week. If you can't gain with 3 days per week, go down to 2, then 1. As long as you have the stimulus for growth and you're working hard all the way to failure in those sets, then you will grow. You just have to find how much rest time you need. So this is the exact same thing with your work, your school, and everything. What is the absolute minimum that I can get the most bang for my buck and work the absolute hardest so I can just move on and not have to do this anymore? So I hope you enjoyed this video, and I'm going to be making way more of these videos because I have so much time. See you around.